Hi, welcome to your Yin Yoga practice. I'm Kumari and I'll be your guide. Go ahead and gather whatever props you might have, like a bolster, some blocks, maybe a few blankets, or any household items that you think would help you feel supported and guide you into a deeper sense of relaxing while you practice. And then I'll see you on your mat. Finding a comfortable seated position, however that is for you. If sitting up on height is better for you, do that. If sitting in a chair is better, you can do that. All right. Make sure your arms and hands feel relaxed and comfortable. Go ahead and close down your eyes. And just start to take some long, slow, deep breaths. And think of these first few moments as your opportunity to fully arrive to your practice. Intending to be completely present and aware of the body, the mind, the spirit in this next hour. We'll take 3 rounds of a breath that's called the physiological sigh. This is 2 sips of breath through the nose. It sounds like this. So you notice that that second breath is kind of like a topping off, just taking in a little bit more. We'll do that 3 times in a row. Here we go. Blow it out the mouth. You might already start to notice this sense of just being in the moment, the calm energy that is a result of closing the eyes and just becoming still and breathing. Let's go ahead and just roll out the head and neck, and I'm going to let you just explore. You can do it whatever way feels most supportive for you. Wonderful. Coming back to neutral now. Let's interlace the fingers and then push the arms away. Push, push, push. And release. Now interlace behind. Pull the chest open. Try to just feel like you're pulling open your collarbones. Maybe even lifting up your arms behind you. Hi, I see a few new people joined while we are on our opening meditation. Welcome. So happy that you're here today. And release. Now we're just going to take a little bitty side stretch. Breathe in and come back. And now to the other side. Come on up. And then a little twist. Release. And a twist to the other side. And letting that go. All right, so our first shape is going to be caterpillar. This is a seated forward fold. If you haven't practiced with me before, you wouldn't know that I always recommend sitting up on something. So this is a blanket that I just have folded, and it's not very thick. It's just going to give me a little elevation in the hips. And then see how I'm sitting up on it now, but ultimately I'm going to come off so I can feel my hips lift behind me. And then what the pose is, I'll just show you without any props, is just leaning forward. But props are really nice. One way you can do it is take something and put it here and just lean forward. Other people love to put something under the knees. So maybe a bolster if you have one, a rolled up blanket, some pillows, and then lean forward. The blocks can come in handy here. One or two. Okay, so in Yin Yoga, we always have an intention of why we're doing a pose. And our why with this one is we're targeting the spine. So we're leaning forward, just letting your spine round. Now, if you're someone that has some acute lower back issues and rounding your back has been not recommended, or I'm recommending it, if you have some current issues with your lower back, try to kind of be up straight. So that's kind of what it would look like. So my back is straight. But if you can, round down. Any amount. It does not matter how far you go. We just want to feel some sensation here. So however you are practicing is perfect for you. Another thing I love so much about Yin Yoga. Okay, so I'm going to try to come into the pose and still talk and not have the mic get squished. Welcome if you just joined. We're doing a seated forward fold. Something about Yin Yoga is that we're not trying to get anywhere, so you don't have to try to touch your toes here. What we're trying to do is feel sensation. Trying to feel what's happening in the body, and especially trying to feel it in that target area that I mentioned, the whole spine, the back side of your body. Hi there. Okay, so did you try to keep your back straight? So instead of rounding the back, maybe come forward with a straight back. If that doesn't work for you, okay, so if it doesn't keep feeling nice, what I'm going to have you do is just come and like pull your legs like this, or even like this. Yeah, so good. I hope that keeps being okay for you. Thank you for asking the question. I'm just going to stay with this for one more minute. Another little note, if you're newer to the practice, there's going to be a lot of silence. I'll definitely talk and tell you about Yin Yoga or other things. But really, there'll be a lot of time where we're just going to go quiet and just breathe and feel. Hi, welcome if you've just joined. Just finishing up caterpillar pose. Here's our chime. Go ahead and bring yourself up and away. My favorite is to lean back into the hands after that one. Feel the hips release. And then maybe take a few of these windshield wipers. And there's always the invitation to move as you wish after these holds. Everyone will experience it a little differently, and we want to make sure that we're really honoring our bodies. It's not unusual to feel kind of stiff as you release the poses. Hello, Catherine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just on our second pose, so glad you made it. Next up, we're going to take 90-90, one of my personal favorites. Take your right leg in front, left leg in back. Okay, so both of my legs are about 90 degrees. If you're on a yoga mat or have an edge of something that you're hanging out on, like I have this blanket, I want my shin to be parallel to that. And it's gonna definitely feel like you're leaning over. Push yourself back up and then come forward. And the intention with this one is to be feeling this in your hip. In your glutes. Now, this one stays in alignment with the front of the mat. That back leg, you can adjust a little bit. I have people sometimes that like to have a little support under that thigh, so that's an adjustment you can make. Blocks or a block bolster combo, if you have it, can be really supportive. In the beginning, I was talking about how all of these props really help us to find a little more stability and ease, which leads to a deeper relaxation while we're in the shape. And so if you do have props available and you can, go ahead and just allow yourself to come down. However far you go, does not matter. And just because I'm leading it, I'm gonna stay upright a little bit more, but I invite you really to lay yourself down as far as you can onto some supports. Can we practice yoga or yin yoga without props? Absolutely. It can be done. But because the nature of the practice is looking for us to relax as much as we can while we're feeling sensation. And you might be feeling kind of an intense sensation with this one in the glutes and the thigh. I hope your SI joint is okay in this one. Just keep letting me know if it's not, and we'll work together. I'm going to stay about another minute and a half, and I'm going to let it go quiet. And your job is to just stay with the sensations, stay with your smooth, easy breathing. Here's our time. Go ahead and release the legs. Another great opportunity for some windshield wipers. You might like some little shakes as well. And then when you feel ready, you'll just be bringing your other leg in front. And just checking out how this feels. Get the timer going. And just recognizing you might need to do it a little bit different on this side. Personally, for me, this hip is a little tighter, so it feels good for me to just be upright. Like I get some nice sensation still in our target area, which is the glutes and thigh and lower back area, hip of the leg that's in front. But I'm also really enjoying some sensation here. So you're always welcome to explore what it would be like if you tweaked the position a little bit. So essentially, Yin Yoga is about stressing the connective tissues. And when I say stress, I mean that in a really positive way. Think of when someone goes to the gym and lifts weight. They're stressing their muscles in a really positive way. To them, it's making their muscles bigger, stronger, more defined. All tissues in the body need stress in order to remain healthy. And so yin yoga versus like vinyasa or hot yoga really focuses on our connective tissues, the fascia in the body, that web-like structure that literally helps you stay erected and keeps your bones and your organs and your skin in place, and you have layers and layers of it. It's a fiber that's in every area and structure of your body. That's what we're targeting. And then also we are targeting tendons and ligaments, joint capsules, bones. So pretty much everything that's not like muscle or blood or an actual organ. We are targeting that through these nice long holds. So what happens when we target this? Why is it so good? Well, we come back to how all the tissues need stress to remain happy and healthy. And so when we're putting this stress on, we're gently expanding, energizing, elongating these tissues. And they don't move very much at all. But micro we are. And so when we come away from the shape, the body produces all sorts of beneficial cellular energy. New oxygenated blood flow rushes into the area that we've been holding. And this all leads to tissue hydration, which leads to better circulation, smoother movement, just feeling better in the body altogether. If you've been practicing yin yoga, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're just starting, I can't wait for you to notice how your body changes over time with consistent practice. All right, loves, let's come out. Here's our little bell. Again, you might find some of those windshield wipers. I mentioned before, it's very normal to feel kind of stiff and crinkly. The tissues that we're targeting they're drier and more like plasticky in nature, and they don't stretch, but they do receive a energy. Like they move a teeny bit, but the idea is not to be stretching the fascia and tendons and ligaments. It's just to bring that little bit of energy. And so because that they don't really stretch very much, when we come out, sometimes can feel like we're a little stiff. All right, today I would like to do child's pose with thread the needle arms. Let me demonstrate. So like your usual child's pose. This time we're gonna bring the arm through and put the forehead on the floor. Hopefully you were able to see that. Now, just because we're doing it with thread the needle, that doesn't mean you can't continue to use props. This is how I like to do it. Come down on my front side, bring my arm through. You might rest your head on a folded blanket or a block. You don't have to use props, that's for sure. If this is bothersome to your knees, go ahead and just lift your hips a little bit. Perhaps putting a rolled blanket or a bolster between the thighs and the calves. So the mic definitely gets squished when I do child's pose. So I'm gonna just let you keep experiencing it. So we're doing threaded child's pose. So not only are we receiving that healthy, beneficial stress in the whole spine, but we're also creating some nice elongation and stretch sensation in the shoulder and the upper arm. This can really contribute to helping soothe any back pain or like upper back pain that you might be experiencing. And I think it goes without saying, but just as a reminder, do not tolerate any pain while you practice today. Yin will sometimes take you a little out of your comfort zone, but we have to learn in our own bodies what is the edge of the comfort zone versus pain. And you get to be your own guru, your own greatest teacher. All right, so now go ahead and release the arm that you had threaded through, and then go ahead and bring the other one through. And so while we're here, we'll focus on breath. So first things first, just noticing your breathing. Just simply becoming aware of the rise and fall of your breath. And then maybe even starting to intentionally get a sense of the rib cage expanding from side to side as you rest here. And just to stay one more minute. Now can you intentionally put your awareness like up at your shoulder blade of the arm that's threaded through. Feel your breath expanding from the inside out, freeing those tissues a little bit more around the shoulder blade. Good. Now you can release your child's pose. Come on up. No doubt you'll want to stretch out your legs a little bit. Maybe even a downward dog. Just take your time coming out of your child's pose. Next, we're going to lay on the belly and practice a half frog, and then maybe add a little bit of Sphinx to it. Now, if none of that made sense to you, that's okay. I will show you. If you have a bolster, or if you could fold some blankets to get some height, you'll come to your belly, and then we're going to lift the leg up like this. You can lay down on your front side and just notice what you're feeling in the inner thigh of the leg that's elevated. If you're feeling too much, it's too intense, lower whatever you have your leg up on, or just take it away. You don't have to have this part. Then you can experiment with coming up onto your elbows, like this. That might make some people feel a little too pinchy in the lower back. So if that happens to be you, you can just come back down. The main point of this pose is to be feeling that little squeeze in the hip and maybe a little bit in the lower back. So I'm just going to hold here. And spending this time really tuning in to what we're feeling exactly. And then you can welcome the practice of imagining that the flow of your breath would enter that area. Make sure that your glutes are relaxed. And in this pose, you can come to sense your breath at the belly. It's nice, gentle pressure on the organs of digestion and reproduction. So beneficial. Okay, so that's it for that side. Go ahead and straighten out your leg. Maybe do a few little windshield wipers. And then as you're ready, you can switch around your setup so you can get that other leg. So a little bit of a half frog Sphinx pose here for us. All right, we have 2.5 minutes here. Remember, if being up on the elbows is too much, you can always come down. That's what I'm going to do. Still feeling it in my hip of the elevated leg. Still feeling the breath at the belly. And just these last minute or so, just go quiet. Feeling into this stillness in the body. Now I'll straighten out that leg. Maybe shift the hips around. Try a few more of those windshield wipers. Pressing up to all four. This could be a really nice time for some cat and cow movements. Awesome. All right. Ready for another pose. Let's go ahead and come on to the back this time. You might not need any props for this, and if you were with me Thursday night or Tuesday night, we just did this over a bolster, but we're going to do it the real way. So it's called banana pose. So you're laying on your back, and now just walk your legs over to the right and walk your top part over to the right. So the reason it's called banana pose is because you kind of look like the shape of a banana. So it's like this. Couple things to note. You can cross your ankles either way or not at all. You can use your forearms, your wrists. If this arm gets tingly, you can bring it down. Okay? So we're just looking to get a nice sensation in the side of the body. If you're twisting over to the right, or tilting over to the right, I should say, then you will feel the sensation in the left side. If your left arm is hanging in the air, be sure to set it on something. Awesome. Just get some deep breaths here. Just allowing the body to open all on its own. No extra effort is needed. If there's no pain, remain. Remember, you can always make any adjustments at any time. Not only does Yin Yoga work with our physical bodies, but it targets the energetic body as well. And what I mean by that is in our bodies, we have nadis or meridians. And according to traditional Chinese medicine and yogic philosophy, we all have these lines of energy. And essentially, this is what's happening in acupuncture, is that your acupuncturist is putting needles in places that would support what you're trying to work with by going to acupuncture. So we stimulate these lines of energy, and we're doing that in Yin Yoga as well. Now, it's not as specific as acupuncture or acupressure, so we're not giving ourselves acupressure by doing this and healing our livers and kidneys, but what we are doing is just sending a little more energy, and these electrical signals that run through these channels instigate whatever cellular help is needed. Maybe it's making tissues thicker and stronger. Maybe it's helping to release adhesions or long-held tensions in the body. We've got about 20 more seconds here. So all that to say that there is an energetic component to the practice, and that is also a traditional Chinese medicine or TCM component. All right, so let's go ahead and shimmy our way out of this. Come back to center, kind of like a little mini Shavasana. Then take it slow, but start to move the body a little bit. Maybe grabbing the knees and bringing them up towards the chest. Good. All right, let's try the other side. So we hung out in that for 4 minutes. So that is what we will do on this side. Walk, walk, walk the legs over. Walk the top over. Keep in mind that you want to keep your shoulder blades and your hips and buttocks flat on the floor. Banana pose. Now, the person that codified yin yoga as a thing his name is Paul Grilly, and he happened to also be a person that was studying TCM, and he found out about this guy, Polly Zink, that was a kung fu master. And he was doing something called yin yoga. But his yin yoga or kung fu yoga was these long holds. But it wasn't the yin yoga that we do today. It was more in the vein of kung fu or preparing for martial arts. So it didn't have, from what I understand, a spiritual nature to it. But in the yin yoga that we practice now through teachers like Polly Zink and my teacher, Bernie Clark, we're starting to recognize that there is a deeply spiritual aspect to this practice. And what I mean is that as we quiet and as we just be with our body in these certain positions, stimulating different areas and different lines of energy, we naturally move more into the present moment, or our ability to have clarity about who we are and maybe even what we want in our lives, or how to do something, answer the questions, and just basically finding union in this quiet space with our true natures of who we are. We're going to stay 1 more minute with our banana pose. And so yin yoga isn't inherently a Chinese practice, is what I was trying to get at. Back, even in the most ancient text of yoga, especially the Yoga Pradipika, they talk about these yoga poses and holding them for periods of time. And that was all to help the aesthetics and the yogis sit in meditation for long periods of time. It was a way to condition the body. So here's our time. Go ahead and come back to the center. take your time. Maybe just pausing. And then as you're ready, starting to move around a little bit. What time are we looking at here? Perfect. Go ahead and hug your knees up towards your chest if you haven't already. Just taking a little twist, not holding it for long. You might want to hold down on your leg. Feel a few deep breaths here. And then we'll come back to center, taking about 6 to 8 more breaths on this side. Staying curious about how does your body breathe as you're trying to hold it in a twist. There's my growly tummy. Sorry if you heard that. Coming back through center now. Let's take a happy baby. So you can reach up and grab the sides of your feet. You could hold your legs or the backs of your legs. All of that does the same thing. Try to push your sacrum down towards the floor. And from here, maybe just playing around, getting any more stretchy sensations or movements in. And then getting set up for our final pose, Shavasana. Bolster under your knees if you have it. Something to go under your head. If you're in an area of the world that's cooler, consider putting a blanket over you, throwing a sweatshirt on. And as always, if laying on your back isn't a comfortable position in your body, by all means, choose a different way. We're going to have a full 5 minutes here. Ensure that you feel pretty darn comfortable. It's in this way that the body can more readily receive this stillness, this period of relaxation. Let's begin as a group, taking a deep breath in and sighing it out. 2 more just like that. Shavasana. Guide your breath to become a little deeper. You may notice your belly expanding with your inhale. And from here, you can give your arms a stretch, your legs a stretch. And really curating your own return from Shavasana. Might be craving a little more movement, some deeper breaths. Resting on your side to start. And then if you'd like to close our time together as a group, you can join me in a seated position. Do 3 more rounds of that physiological sigh breath we did in the beginning. The 2 sips in and a long, slow exhale. Ready? Joining your hands in front of your heart. It's my honor and my pleasure to share this practice with you in this way. I truly appreciate your presence and your desire to love your body in this way. Together, we can share the greeting of Namaste. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining Yin Yoga today. I hope that you feel amazing. And please remember, I always love to hear from you in the comments. So if you have any special requests or want to tell me how the practice is going for you, please comment and share this video with someone that you think might benefit from Yin Yoga. And of course, if you want to keep seeing my videos, please subscribe and like.